Shalom, King. Y'all put you on Shadrach, though. Hey, Buta. Hey, baby. Go on, baby. Let's see you when I get in the house, okay, baby? All right. I'm trying to, like, because it's going to get dark in a minute. It's going to get dark in a minute, but Lord willing, we can, get edified, us as a whole, right? Bear with me, for the ones that's gonna be hopping on while I'm actually going live. Bear with me. And what really inspired this video is, listening to the word all day and, talking to some people about, dying for the Lord, talking about destruction, talking about, 2024, right? And I believe, 2024 is going to be a great year, right? But, any year to me going into, the coming or the ushering in of Hamashiach Yahushai is, that's the whole mojo, on the coming of Hamashiach Yahushai, right? I'm about to read something real quick. I'm gonna read 2 verses and then we'll crack it off, man. This is 2 Chronicles chapter 15, verse 7. It says, "Be ye strong, therefore, and let not your hands be weak, for your work shall be rewarded." Right? You don't want to have feeble hands when it comes to serving Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, right? 2 Thessalonians 3 and 10. A man that don't work don't deserve to eat, right? And the Lord, Hamashiach Yahushai, is going to come with our reward. If we choose not to do his work, we still going to get a reward, right? Let's just close it with this one. Verse 13, it says that whosoever would not seek Yahweh Shema Shai, God of Israel, should be put to death, whether small or great, whether man or woman, right? So whosoever does not seek Yahweh Shema Shai in your heart, you don't think about him, you don't call on his name, you're not reading, you're not looking for the men of the Lord, right? You're going to die, right? And then we got, this is First Chronicles chapter 16, verse 11. Real quick. It says, seek Yahweh Shema Shai in his strength. Seek his face continually. Remember his marvelous works that he have done and his wonders and the judgments of his mouth. Right? O ye seed of Israel, his servants, ye children of Jacob, his chosen ones. Right? We got to seek the Lord's face continually so that we can be aware on the times that's going to come. Right? You want to be prepared on what's to come. So with that, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Rakakwadash. Yahweh is the Most High God, and Yahweh Shai is who the world ignorantly calls Jesus the Christ. And I want to say double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who've been ruling well through the Spirit, teaching His word and believing His word to the best of their ability. Lord, one of the Most High, continue to put in a spirit to endure. Right, and a mighty shalom to the whole full elect, scattered four corners of the earth, in and out of congregations, teaching His word and believing His word to the best of their ability. And of course, shalom to the wives and the single sisters that's believers of His word. Lord, willing the Most High, continue to put it on your heart to pursue to be a virtuous and loving and silent wife. Right, and Lord, willing the Most High, have mercy on the other brothers and sisters that's not in the faith. Right. So this lesson is really about 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter, right? It hits, right? And I'm always bringing it out in the KJV. And I was watching a brother, was it Elder Tahar? It was another brother. It was a brother. He got a page where he does reading. And with this one, he was reading something in 2nd Ezra, and he read it in the KJV, and then he went to the GNT. And he was like, man, we really, like, this is something serious, right? And he was just trying to let you have the wave of both translation, the KJV and the GNT, right? So we're about to get into 2nd Ezra. And then, Lord willing, we can get some precepts, right? I'm just now walking out of work, so I didn't have a chance to really write scriptures. It's just something in me to bring this out, man, right? Because this is the disasters that's gonna take place, man. In the men of the Lord, the prophet's been teaching this, man, days in and days out, right? This is 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter, verse 1 in the Good News Translation. So pay attention. It says, Yahweh Shema Shai says, proclaim to my people the prophetic message that I will give you. Right, and I'm just on behalf of y'all, for the ones that don't know, I love the first verse. The first two verses, right, is very important. Especially, it makes you feel the Lord was thinking about. He was thinking about the elect. So I'm gonna read verse 1 and 2 real quick again in the GNT. It says, Yahweh Shema Shai says, proclaim to my people the prophetic messages that I will give you, and then have them written down because they are true and will be fulfilled. Right now, before I go back and read those two verses in the KJV, I wanted to read something because the Most High word is true and faithful, and He said that they will be fulfilled. Right? Because He told the prophets to write this. What did He say? He said, proclaim to my people a prophetic message. And He said, write it down because it will be fulfilled. Right? And I'm going to go to, this is 2 Peter chapter 1, verse 20 to 21. It says, knowing this first, that no prophecy of the scripture is of any private interpretation. For the prophecy came not in old time by the will of man, but holy men of the Most High spake as they were moved by the Holy Ghost. Right? This word is true, right? It's faithful and it's honest, it's straight, direct, and it's sure, right? Because the Lord chose who He wanted to teach His word to feed the people. Like, people doing all this, scientists dissecting this, going here, but the Lord, I don't know, but the New Testament, this, it's written in here. Yo, the Lord can do whatever He wants in order to make it a masterpiece, let alone He's not going to make it plain for all eyes to see, right? And if OG, you watching this, Only the ones that can see the hole within the hole is gonna know. If OG, you watching this, you know what I mean, right? You have to be able to have those mystery eyes, because the Lord said he would do nothing but reveal his secrets to the prophets. The secrets is a mystery. How you think you think everybody got it? No, this is a prophetic message, right? So I was just showing, just to confirm, right? Because this is a prophetic message, but this prophetic message was by the Most High. These were holy men that were moved. It was either men were prophesying it or the men were writing it down. Because you got to think the scribes had to have a spirit on them to write these words down, let alone the prophets had the prophet and speak it, right? So let me just read the first two in KJV so it can be plain to you even more. It says, behold, speak thou in the ear of my people the words of prophecy, right? Sirach 39, right? Any man, let alone Revelation 19:10, the real men of the Lord are going to dabble in prophecies. That's how you're going to know a man really by his fruits, when he dabbles into prophecies and they line up, right? It says, so we got to speak the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith Yahweh Shemel Shai. So he's the reason why you want to do a video, right? I know brothers be making fun of brothers always doing video after video, but it's the Lord that puts these words in us. Look, I'm not gonna lie. I have two of these verses written from 2 days ago, and the verse at the bottom was written today at work. This was written at work. Look at that. This was written at work. Just one verse, one book. Revelation, 2nd Ezra 15 in the GNT, right? That was the only thing that just stayed on my mind. Like, I might have to bring this out. And I got home and I just kept thinking about it, right? So the Lord will put a word in you. I'm not saying I'm that guy. I'm just saying there's a lot of men out here, especially how the apostles, a great millstone of men underneath them, how the elect is out here teaching, doing the things that they do, is because the Lord is giving them the words. If you've been reading and the Lord got you just pondering on something, that's the Lord. Every individual brother, some of us might be teaching almost the same thing at the same time, or an hour later or 6 hours later, we might be singing the same song. If you got the urge to teach, that's the Lord, right? Verse 2, it says, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. We're in 2023, we're reading the Bible on paper, right? Back then, you were reading it from stone, animal skin, leather, right? Parchment paper, really, when we was in the Romans, right? But then later on, in the 1455, right, the Winsenberg printing press, right? The what is it? Winsberg, no, the Wycliffe Salaki. That's the Winsberg press, but the Wycliffe Bible was the first Bible printed in 1455. And it was written in paper, right? So these things is to motivate you, right? That's prophetic, right? And that's something that got fulfilled in time that just recently just passed. So we're dealing with a prophecy right there, right? Continue on in the 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 2, again in the GNT. It says, and then have them written down because they are true and will be fulfilled. Do not be afraid of those who plot against you or be disturbed by their unbelief, right? Anybody that plot against us is going to be the ones that persecute us, right? Our own people, because you have to click back, look at the Pharisees, right? We're going to have to take persecution just like Yahushua, right? It's plain. We're going to have to take persecution just like Yahushua, right? We're going to have to suffer just like Yahushua, right? Let me get one. Right, let me just get this one right here. This is Luke 9, chapter 9, verse 23. It says, and he said unto them all, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me, right? Taking up your cross is that persecution, right? Or that suffering, them trials and tribulation. Whosoever will save his life shall lose it, But whosoever will lose his life for my sake, the same shall save it. Now, the elect is not trying to save their life in this thing. They're going to walk in the same footstep as their big brother, Hamashiach Yahushai. So they're going to die for this ministry, right? It says, and that's another form of suffering, taking that persecution, right? It says, for what is a man advantage if he gain the whole world and lose himself or be cast away, right? We have to not be a part of the world where we want to get the accolades. Now, you might get some, but don't make that your objective or your agenda where you boast about those things like you are a Pharisee, like I sit in Moses' seat, like that do a damn thing, but you don't even believe, right? 2 Ezra 15:3, do not be afraid of those who plot against you or be disturbed by their belief, right? So we shouldn't be afraid if people don't believe, because guess what? We're out here to teach the word and rebuke. People just think the ministry is all good. The men of the Lord job is to rebuke. And what is rebuke? I think I was getting into this last night in my notebook. Lord willing, I did. Let's see if I did. Right? So rebuke, it means, the verb means to express sharp disapproval or criticism of someone because of their behavior or action. The noun for rebuke is an expression of sharp disapproval or criticism. Reproach is the expression of disapproval or disappointment, right? So basically, when we rebuke brothers, that's part of our job, right? To rebuke the disapproval of something that they have done that could be unrighteous, something that can blame that people will use to blame the ministry, something that the sheep will try to be like, oh, I can't do it because of this, right? This is what we're here for. The men of the Lord is supposed to teach the good news. They're supposed to teach the terrible destruction, and they're supposed to rebuke their brother so that they can be walking the straight and narrow, right? So that they can be upright, right? Because you all want to be held accountable for your actions. The 2/3 is not thinking about being held accountable, right? The elect want to be held accountable for their mistakes that they have done. This is why they're saying that they need to do better, right? But let's just go into this Ezekiel, the 3rd chapter. And I'm going to start at 16. It says, and it came to pass at the end of 7 days that the word of Yahweh Shemashai came unto me, saying, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the word at my mouth and give them warning for me. Right? We're supposed to be giving our people warning. Yes, teaching them of the prophecy of things to come. Right? And then while you're warning them, another warning could be a rebuke. If you don't rebuke your brother, right, the Lord is going to require his blood on your hands, right? So if anything that can be unrighteous on the eyes of the Lord, we are the mouthpiece and we're the eyes of the Lord. Even though the Lord, it shows the example that the Lord's eyes is brighter than the sun, right? The Lord can be watching another brother through another brother. The Lord has all power, right? And the men of the Lord are supposed to be getting on everything, right, that the world is doing. But if the men of the Lord are so-called Israelites and they love their brothers, they're going to get on their brothers, right? This is what our work is supposed to be about, right? And what he's saying in 2 Ezra 15:3, do not be afraid of those who plot against you or be disturbed by their unbelief. How you going to know that they have unbelief, right? Is because you were teaching them, right? So that shows that we still are supposed to be teaching in the midst of the unbelievers, because we're supposed to teach out the word to the four corners of the earth. We don't know that they're unbelievers' intentions or when they speak and how they move. Just because you look at somebody don't mean that they don't believe, right? So you have to teach this word until the unbelievers show themselves, or that sheep cleave to that word, because the Lord says the sheep know my voice. So the scriptures is easy, right? I'll just read verse 18. It says, and when I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thy hand. right? So you're held accountable just like the men in the first verse. Proclaim to my people the prophetic message. If they didn't, the Lord will require their blood at their hands, because this prophetic message is something very important. This is a prophetic message that can change our life, that can help us walk that narrow path. And especially if somebody is not telling us the prophetic message, which they have the ability to do, the Lord is going to require their blood. It's plain and simple, right? And that goes for me, and that goes for the fake teacher too, right? So now back to Second Esdras, the 15th chapter, right? Verse 4, it says, all unbelievers will die because of their unbelief, right? And first, I wanted to get this one, right? Because if they died, is because the wicked could not get it, right? And we're going to go to a verse that I've been bringing out for the past few weeks, right? This is Daniel chapter 12 and verse 10. It says, many shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. So the wicked that don't understand and they're not taking the initiative to actually seek the Lord, this is your second chance right now. The 2/3 will not have, you don't have no excuse to say you couldn't, you didn't know, or you couldn't seek. The Lord is going to give you the flash that you did have a chance, right? And so this shows that the wicked is not going to understand, but the righteous is going to be tried. The 2/3 is not getting tried. The 2/3 is catching this, catching that, and then they gonna catch the full throttle, right? They can't see, right? Yeah, it's another one, but of course, you know, Zechariah 13, Zechariah chapter 13, verse 8, it says, and it shall come to pass that in all the land, save Yahweh Shemel Shai, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the 3rd shall be left therein. And this is only dealing with Israel, right? Because the true believers is Israel, right? And if we want to talk about the unbelievers, we will first talk about our nations, right? The other nations, regardless if they believe or not, they're not Israelites, right? So first, we're going to always deal with Israel when it comes to believers and unbelievers. Then we could talk about the other nations, right? But I said that just for this verse right here. This is Jude. There's only one chapter, starting at verse 14. It says, and Enoch also, the son from Adam, prophesied of these things. See, and he had a prophetic message, saying, behold, Yahweh Shemel Shai cometh with 10,000 of his saints to execute judgment upon all, to convince all that are ungodly among them of all their ungodly deeds, which they have ungodly committed, and of all their harsh speech, which ungodly sinners have spoken against him, right? And of course, this really is going into the other nations, because they're the ones that are really ungodly. The ungodly is really somebody that's godless, right? Those are the true sinners. But when you go into that word of sinners, men and women that transgress against the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments, right? And only Israel are the true sinners. So you got to understand, the unbelievers, right? They're gonna die because of their unbelief, man. Right? This is gonna be one of their great punishments, right? The finished punishment, right? That only the flesh and the spirit is gonna have to bear the whole time, right? You had one time you get beat, you had this time you got tortured, you had this and this and that, but now it's gonna be on the level where your spirit and your flesh feel it. Second Esdras 15, verse 5, Yahweh Shemel Shai says, I am going to bring terrible disasters on the whole world, war, famine, death, and destruction, right? And I just wanted to bring this out, right? This is just one verse. This is Exodus chapter 15, verse 3. It says, Yahweh Shemel Shai is the man of war. Yahweh Shemel Shai is his name, right? And we got to think, anytime is a spirit of war, it's the Lord. Because the Lord orchestrate all of this. It says he's a man of war. It don't say only 1, 2, 3, or 4. He's just a man of war. So anytime it was men had a spirit of war, or it was just war in the world, war over here, the Lord had a hand in it on the left hand side, right? And what did it say? It says the Lord says, "I am going to bring terrible disasters on the whole world, war, famine, death, and destruction." Right? And even when you go to Isaiah 29:6, right? And if you see that, that's showing that the Lord is visiting the earth. This is Isaiah 29, verse 6. It says, thou shalt be visited thou shalt be visited of Yahweh Shem Yahushai of hosts, with thunder and earthquakes and great noise, with storms and tempests and flames of devouring fire. Right? That's Yahweh Shem Yahushai visiting the earth. Right? So every time we have an earthquake, China just got hit with a freaking flood, right? Those times you should be thinking, yo, that's Yahweh Shem Yahushai. The 2/3, this is plain. Anybody that's not serious for the Lord is not looking at the news or observing what's going on outside. They're not always looking at YouTube for something that's going to hit, talking about the government falling, power, government shutdown, or prophecies being fulfilled. Right, the men of the Lord, even the daughters of Zion, they're looking for the men of the Lord to do a lesson. That shows what spirit you in. A nigga that's just thinking about sex all day, right? Our minds is in a gutter. And hey, if you think about that girl being your wife, you not nothing wrong with that at all, right? But the men of the Lord, regardless if they thinking about that, they're thinking of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. They're not just only thinking about a blunt. They're not just only thinking about a good time, 5 minutes in paradise. They're not thinking about 4 days in the Bahamas, right? And even if they is, right, they're doing the work of Yahweh Shem Yahushai first and foremost. I'm gonna always say that because I just want y'all to know it's not a sin to go travel. It's not a sin to go have fun. Right? But the men of the Lord and the daughters of Zion is putting Yahweh Shem Yahushai first. Some men of the Lord are probably living a simple life, and that's not born to them. It might be born for you. Right? It might be some men and some women of the Lord that just go be at home. They might go on dates, they might go on bike rides, they might go skating, and that might be fun to them. They might not be going overseas. They might not be traveling city to city just to go teach the word. Right? Men of the Lord are most likely occupied in the Lord. Right? They might not be in your face all the damn time, every day. Hey, what you might want to do. Right? They might be a man and might want to be around their brothers, or they might just be doing lessons nonstop. Right? It's the turn up. It's the turn up. Right now, if we seeing all these disasters, fires, earthquakes, storms, brothers should be doing videos. Because if the Lord visiting the earth, what is the men of the Lord doing? Right? Verse 6, it says, because wickedness has spread everywhere and evil has reached its limit. Right? That makes me think of Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter, the last verse. You know, it says basically when lawlessness increase, that's a sign that a kingdom will fall. Right? Verse 7, it says, therefore, Yahweh Shem Yahushai says, I will no longer remain silent about the wickedness of these godless people. I will no longer tolerate it. They have murdered innocent people, and the blood they have spilled cries out to me for revenge. The souls of the righteous are constantly pleading for vengeance, right? And if the Lord can't tolerate it, if he's saying he can't be silent no more, what do we do? Right? This is what the Lord would do. Actually, he would do nothing. This is Amos chapter 3, verse 7. It says, surely Yahweh Shem Yahushai, God would do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his he revealeth his secrets unto the prophets. Right? The Lord ain't gonna do nothing. Right? The Lord is always moving in emotion, and let alone he created other powers to handle his work. The men of the Lord is a power underneath the sun. Right? This is Daniel chapter 2, and I'm going to start at 19. It says, then was the secret revealed unto Daniel. What did he say? He said he would do nothing, but he will reveal his secrets to the prophets. I'm going to this to show Daniel is a prophet, right? And how can Daniel be a prophet? Because he revealing Nebuchadnezzar's dream. And the Lord gave that dream to Nebuchadnezzar first. And the Lord revealed it unto Daniel. That's how we can know that he's a prophet, because he's able to break down the dream and the vision. So the men of the Lord, now from the first verse that we went to, 2 Esdras 15, 1 and 2, the Lord had them write this and scribe this for the future. So it already been written down, broken, it's already there. Now the Lord is going to rise the prophets up again, the apostles and the prophets. And the first true teachers are going to break down the ministry first. Then years to come, they've been in this for like 20, 30, 40 years. Then there's going to be a new branch. Just like when you look at Elijah, Elisha, then when they die, Isaiah, then Micah, Habakkuk, Malachi, Obadiah. Then after them, then you got the disciples. Like, they die off, and then the next one. So now we might have our elders now, and then the ministry kept on going, and now the babes is in here, right? The ministry is just getting revealed to the elect men that died back then, right? The innocent blood that we already read in the scriptures. They just came back into their lot. Daniel 12, verse 13. Daniel was going to come back in his lot when Yahushua returned, right? And the men of the Lord are going to come back. If any man is compelled to teach, that are true teachers, they were prophets in their past life. No man is going to come back and be a teacher that was never a teacher, right? I just had to go on that just to show, because we just brought out scriptures so that we don't have to go backwards, right? We already brought them out, right? So it says, then was the secret revealed unto Daniel in the night vision. Then Daniel blessed the God of heaven. Daniel answered and said, blessed be the name of the Most High forever and ever, for wisdom and might are his. He changeth the times and the seasons. He removeth kings and set up kings. He giveth wisdom unto the wise, which are prophets, and knowledge unto them that know understanding. He revealeth the deep and the secret things. He knoweth what is in the darkness, and the light dwelleth in him. Right? So if the Lord knows the deep and the secret things, but if the Lord is saying that he would do nothing but he reveal his secrets to the prophets, that means the teachers are out here teaching that Jacob Trouble is on his way. Famine on the word is on his way. The Charagma is on his way. Right? The big confusion is on his way, but the revealing of the son of perdition is on his way. The men of the Lord are teaching the hard and easy things of the breakdown of Yahweh Shema Shai, right? And they're dabbling into prophecies. They're doing everything backwards, but everything right? They're doing the law, but they're teaching prophecies first, right? Because really, when you look at the apostles was teaching of the good news of the kingdom, right? But in between that, yes, they were teaching of the law, but they were getting on the good news, preparing yourself for the kingdom, preparing yourself for the coming of Yahushua, right? And we have to build ourselves up back into the faith by hearing the prophecies, the dark sayings, and the parables. And while you're doing that, you're going to make actions into rehearsing the law, right? The elect men are coming in the whole volume of the Bible, right? We had to just go into that, right? To keep going. I will no longer tolerate it. They have murdered innocent people, in the blood they have spilled cries out to me for revenge. The souls of the righteous are constantly pleading for vengeance, right? I just had a verse for this real quick, right? And I'm just going to show that we was hunting the prophets back then, you know, whoever it may be. Right, but we got to get it out. This is First Kings chapter 19, and I'm gonna just go to the point at verse 9. It says, when you start at verse 19 from verse 1 all the way to 6, Obadiah. Actually, if we go to chapter 18, Obadiah damn near had like about 400 to 450 prophets. Yeah, 450 prophets hiding in a cave, right? Because Jezebel was seeking to kill the prophets, right? So I'm gonna go to 1 Kings chapter 19, starting at verse 9. It says, "And he came hither unto a cave and lies there. And behold, the word of Yahweh Shema Shai came to him. And he said unto him, What doest thou here? And Elijah, and he said, I have been very jealous for Yahweh Shema Shai, God of hosts, for the children of Israel have forsaken thy covenant, thrown down thy altars, and slain thy prophets with the sword. And I, even I only am alone, am left, and they seek my life to take it away." Right? So Elijah is already saying that, Israel have slain the prophets, man, and they were seeking Elijah's life, right? So that's to show you right there and then that it says this, the souls of the righteous are constantly pleading for vengeance, right? Even for the wicked, Jake, just like how the Pharisees killed Yahushai. Look at how Israelites probably had the disciples, the other apostles, killed too, right? And then much more, look at what the other nations did, butt breaking, right? Look at some of the inventions that they made for torture. Then go read in the Maccabees, right? Antiochus, one of the most worst Edomites that ever ruled and ever lived, man, right? He has no love, no kindness in his heart. Verse 9, it says, "Let there be no doubt, says Yahweh Shema Shai, I will hear the plea of all the innocent people who have been murdered. I will take vengeance for what has been done to them. My people are being led to the slaughter like a flock of sheep." Right? I wanted to I believe it's another precept somewhere in Baruch. This is Baruch. I said at 27, it said, "Be of good comfort, O my children, and cry unto the Most High, for ye shall be remembered, shall be remembered of him that brought these things upon you. For as it was your mind to go astray from the Most High, so being returned, seek him 10 times more." Right? My people are being led to the slaughter like a flock to the sheep. And our mind was to go astray, because even if I was to go to Jeremiah 23, you can go on Isaiah, a lot of our teachers, right, was teaching us deceit, right? Because even when you go to Isaiah 30 and 10, a lot of Israel was asking some of the men of the Lord, yo, teach us deceit. But guess what? They got their wish, because later on, we had men that was teaching us deceit. Like you got Hananiah lying about ripping the shackles of Nebuchadnezzar, of the Babylonians, right? But he only ripped off wood, right? And the Lord killed him 7 months later, right? We went astray because we started cleaving to other philosophies, right? And we can go get that in Colossians, right? Real quick. This is Colossians chapter 2, verse 8. "Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiment of the world, and not after Hamashiach." And that's what the Pharisees was teaching, right? Traditions of men. And this is why they had a whole group of followers, right? And we have Pharisees now. We have false teachers now that would teach something so good, and it sound good, but it could be totally wrong, right? They can have the flyest outfits, right? The flyest names, the flyest camps, right? The most beautifulest woman, and probably the most flyest, smoothest brothers, right? But they really are shit, right? But let's just keep going on Second Esdras. Chapter 15, verse 10, it says, "My people are being led to the slaughter like a flock of sheep. They will no longer have to live in Egypt." Right? And Egypt is considered the house of bondage when you go to Exodus chapter 20, verse 2. It says, "I will bring disaster upon the Egyptians, as I did earlier. I will destroy their country. Salaki, y'all. He said, they will no longer have to live in Egypt. I will use all my strength and power to bring them out of that land. I will bring disaster upon the Egyptians, as I did earlier. I will destroy their country, because he's not talking about, this is not a past tense situation. This is talking about present, because he just said, I will bring disaster upon the Egyptians, as I did earlier. What Egyptians did he destroy? The ones in Exodus, right? Exodus chapter 14, destroyed them with a massive flood, right? But he is talking about the new Egyptians, right? You have to know the Lord is smooth with his words, right? Egypt means bondage, right? Exodus chapter 20. And who was ruling Egypt? A Pharaoh. Pharaoh was the Egyptian. Now, who would be the new upgrade Pharaoh if the Lord said in Deuteronomy 28 that his people will go into bondage again? They will go into Egypt again, right? So that means that new Egypt would be, they would be new pharaohs, right? So when we go to Isaiah chapter 19, verse 2, it says, I will set the Egyptians against, actually, let me start at 1. It says, the burden of Egypt, behold, Yahweh Shema Shai rideth upon a swift cloud, which is a chariot, and shall come into Egypt. And the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it, right? Because Egypt is going to get destroyed. The place of bondage, the house of bondage will be destroyed. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, the so-called oppressors against the oppressors. And who are the oppressors in this time? The so-called white man and woman. So those are the new Egyptians. It says, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom, right? Russia might be the head on the eastern side, on that side, right? He might be the other side, the other head that might go against the western side of Europe, right? And America would be the head, the so-called head for that side of that war, right? And these Edomites will go against each other, but it's really going to happen that all nations is against this bullshit place, right? Called daughter of Babylon, right? And if I was to go into the NLT, when you drop down let's actually go into it. Let me not be stingy, right? Let me not be stingy. Forgive me, y'all. Forgive me. This is Isaiah chapter 19, verse 14 in the NLT. It says, Yahweh Shema Shai have sent a spirit of foolishness on them, so all their suggestions are wrong. They cause Egypt to stagger like a drunk in his vomit, right? And guess what? These elites, or the ones in office, president office, are lying to you. The joke is up. The elites are cracking down because they're about to make a huge change in society, right? It's about to come out that we've been right this whole time about the government is just a host to block you away from who the real plug is, right? Or the real socket, the real dealers out here, right? These little puppeteers don't got nothing on the ones that orchestrate it. Think of the game Monopoly. Who's the main one orchestrating the game? The banker, right? Verse 15, it says, there is nothing Egypt can do. All are helpless, the head and the tail, the noble palm branch and the lowly reed. And guess who's the head over here? Esau is the head. He's running shit. We're technically the tail. 16, it says, in that day the Egyptians will be as weak as women. They will cower in fear beneath the upraised fist of Yahweh Shema Shai of heaven's army. Go look at Zuckerberg, right? Zuckerberg is making a bunker in Hawaii. He spent $200 million. He's about to get ready to go hide it. And we over here using Facebook and IG, and none of y'all niggas is talking about it. Right? So what's going on? These Egyptians, this new age Egyptians, these new age Edomites, that's why the son of perdition has to be revealed, because he has so many decoded names that a lot of y'all don't know. And I'm not about to go crazy to break down the Egyptian part. These videos is only for the elect. For the ones that want to ask a million questions but just won't shut up and try to receive it, the Lord might not be dealing with you. Come in here to learn, get your book out, get your pen, and write them down, and then reread it to see if you get it. And if you don't get it, you should be praying to the Lord, because if you can't get the simple or the simple, oh, you got to go pray to the Lord. Because how you gonna get how you gonna get the meat? How you gonna get the real meal if you can't get the easy? And even if you can get it, you should still be trying to talk to the Lord, because shit is about to crack down. Back to 2nd Esdras, chapter 15, and we're reading verse 12. It says, the whole land will be in mourning. It will be shaken to its foundations when I, Yahweh Shemashai, strike it and pound on it. Right? When we go to Revelation 18, it tells you people are going to cry at last. That great city, they're going to be crying and mourning. Let alone, they say that the mountains will be shaken to and fro. Right? Let's see. Salaki. This is Isaiah chapter 54, verse 10. For the mountains shall depart and the hills be removed, but my kindness shall not depart from thee, neither shall the covenant of my peace be removed, saith Yahweh Shemashai, that have mercy on thee. Right? Because he's speaking, because you got to know, Isaiah is speaking to Israel, let alone he is speaking of Yahushai. But he's telling you right here, these mountains in these hills, right? These little countries, right? These countries, these places, right, are going to move, especially around America, Hawaii, these little countries on the outskirts, they will be removed, right? And you might have Florida or California. Some of these places are going to get removed. The whole landmass is going to be restructured, right? That right there should have you shaking in your boots. We just got that in the scriptures, right? We can go to another one, right? Let's see. This is Revelations chapter 18. I'm going to start at 15. It says, the merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, saying, at last, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors and as many as traded by sea stood afar off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? Right? And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, that great city wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea by reason of her costliness. For in 1 hour she is made desolate. It's talking about the daughter of Babylon. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles, for the Most High have avenged you on her. The Lord haven't avenged the apostles and the prophets on her yet. On that whore is still moving and still making money and still the face of this world. This is why this place has to get broken down, right? 13, it says the farmers were mourned, and we just read that. Revelations 18, the merchants, right? The farmers will mourn because their seed will fail to sprout and their trees will be destroyed by blinked hail and terrible storms, right? The farmers is the ones on the land, right? But you know, Bill Gates damn near stole so many farming lands, right? But that's okay, right? We're gonna jump to I'm gonna try to make it more plain for you guys. We're gonna go to Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter, and in the G&T. And we're gonna go, I think, we're gonna read verse 20 to 23. It says, "He will sharpen his stern anger with the sword, and the forces of nature, which is the elect, let alone the animals, will join him in battle against those who are foolish enough to oppose him," right? The elect, right? The elect is going to help Yahushua, you know, to overcome, right? To take the kingdom from the other nations, let alone these animals. They going to get tapped too. Them animals is in jail right now. So imagine when hell break loose before those nukes get here. Them animals is going to be working for the Lord, right? It says, bolt of lightning will strike right on target. And that bolt of lightning will be the missiles, the nukes, man. That's going to come here and destroy this place, right? It says, as if Yahweh Shema Shai had made a bow out of the clouds and was shooting arrows, right? And what does arrows, does missiles of today look like arrows, right? It says, hailstones will beat down on his enemies with terrible force, right? And didn't those hailstones happen to Egypt before which one? Before the firstborn died? They had hailstones come. The Lord said hailstones will beat down on his enemies with terrible force, right? And those hailstones in Egypt, okay, yeah, but these hailstones is going to be like Sodom and Gomorrah, but even worse, because it said terrible force. It says the oceans and rivers will come rushing over them in a devastating flood, just like what happened in Exodus, the 14th chapter, to the Egyptians. But these chariots is going to come down like a flood, right? And when all these nukes hit, it's going to be a whole bunch of liquid of fire, that brimstone and lake of fire, right? Verse 23, it says, great wind storms will blow them away like straw. And go watch the Oppenheimer movie. So like if I pronounced it wrong, go on YouTube and watch bombs get dropped and look at the aftermath, the wave, right? It says great windstorms will blow them away like straw. Lawlessness will be the ruin of the whole world. Evil actions will cause governments to fall. And this government is falling, especially if they're talking about a government shutdown. Lawlessness is continuing to grow. Until this place is finished, we're going to continue to see lawlessness grow and grow. Perilous times is going to come, right? Back to 2nd Esdras, the 13th chapter, verse 14. The world and the people in it are doomed, right? They're doomed. And if you don't get right with Yahweh Shem Yahushai, you won't get what it says in 1 Thessalonians, I believe, right? And this verse I'm about to bring out is to go against, like, not to go against it like it's not accurate. This is accurate, but to go against for the elect's sake, because the elect is going to get saved out of it, right? This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, and I'm starting at verse 14. It says, for if we believe that Yahushua died and rose again, even to them also which sleep in Yahushua, basically the ones that taste death, will the Most High bring with him. For this we say unto you by the word of Yahweh Shema Shai, that we which are alive and remain, right, alive still in this world, right, or when Yahweh Shai come, right, remain unto the coming of Yahweh Shema Shai, shall not prevent them which are asleep. For Yahweh Shema Shai himself shall descend from heaven with a shout and with the voice of the angel and with the trump of the Most High, and the dead in Hamashiach shall rise first. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet Yahweh Shema Shai in the air. So shall we ever be with Yahweh Shema Shai, right? So the ones that die for the name of Yahweh Shema Shai, they're going to be with the Lord. And then the ones that's still on the earth, they're going to get saved scarcely, right? Right when all chaos like is at the tip, they're going to get saved out of it. And we're going to be in the air with the Lord looking down on the destruction. That's what it just said. And what it is, it said the world and the people in it are doomed. So the ones that's left here are going to be destroyed, right? Zechariah 13. America is going to be the main country destroyed to smithereens. Last verse, 15. It says the war that the war that will bring their destruction is very near. Nations will arm themselves and fight against other nations, right? And this is why. And I already know, the elect of the Most High, they get in there, right? But I'm gonna just bring this up, right? This is Romans chapter 13, verse 11. And that knowing the time, what we just got done reading, that now it is high time to wake up out of sleep. For now is our salvation nearer than we believe. Because we're hearing rumors of war, right? You're hearing of a new world order. You're hearing of a charagma, right? You're hearing of a new cove or a new vaccine. They making a new vaccine like they make a new holiday, right? The LGBT Sodom community is growing at a rapid pace. That's just shaking your boots. It's men waking up saying, I'm David. I'm David. I'm Yahweh Shai. Even more to show. Women are showing their ass off way more. Women are getting crazy more leeway. Back then it was only 500 jails at that time when Bone Thugs and Harmony was up. Then when they really made it big, it turned into 1,700. How many banks do you think it is now? How many banks are in United States of America?
As of September 8, 2021, there were 4,951 commercial banks and savings institutions.
How many prisons are in United States of America?
This is from Wikipedia.
How many prisons, jails are in United States of America?
With 1,719 state prisons, 102 federal prisons, 3,280 local jails, 80 Indian country jails, and over 940 juvenile correctional facilities, it is often remarked that the U.S. has more prisons than colleges. This answer is from worldatlas.com.
This joint just said they got more prisons than colleges. Did you hear that? He said it's more prisons than colleges, man. That's brazy. And you can't tell me we are not the people. Isaiah chapter 42. Come on, man. They say we not the people. We're the small hats in there. Put them all in there, then. Put them all in there, then. This is Isaiah chapter 42, verse 22. It says, but this is a people robbed and spoiled. We can tell we robbed. We don't even got our own nationality. We're robbed even more because our own people was on this land first. The Northern Kingdom, right? The Latinos and the natives, man. They were all up over here first before anybody, right? We're robbed, right? It says they are all of them snared in a trap, basically trapped in holes, prison houses. They are for a prey and none deliver, for a spoil and none saith restore. But these small hats, they've been restored. Banks here, banks there, Casinos there, this there, and that there. But it says our people is hitting in prison houses. The Black, Latinos, and natives are flooding the prison houses, right? And this is why we have to understand, us that don't know the laws, us that don't know who we is, us that don't know the Most High, we are cursed. And the Lord is revealing things, let alone what I just said. You know, we hitting the prison houses right there and then. That was something that was prophesied back then. And look where we at now. It's supposed to motivate you to go hard for Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. This is the real deal, Holyfield. We should be putting more of a pep in our step, right? Because it's scary. It's scary hour right now, right? And you should be ready. You should be ready for absolute terrible destruction. You should actually prepare for the worst. You should be looking at your house. Be thankful you got your house. But get your spirit ready. Not your flesh, because your flesh, as soon as that, you got to get your you got to get your heart right, because you might be losing your house soon. You might lose your job soon. Let alone you got a wife that went on a list. You got these kids. Yo, we're going to get it. We're going to get smacked. When all of this happened, you're going to hear your wives complain, your kids. That's why get on yourself and get on your household ass about faith. Increase your faith. Increase your faith. Without faith, it's impossible to please Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And the best way to increase your faith is seeking the Lord. And the more you read that, when you outside, you'll see some things, and through the spirit, you'll analyze and smile and be like, oh, I'm thinking about a verse. And now, Lord willing, throughout this whole week, I'm going to be motivated. I got my verse that I already seen through the spirit, that I'm already motivated. And Lord willing, I can be bringing this out every day at the beginning of every video. And Lord willing, this can be a verse that, you know, the brothers bring out at camp on Saturday, right? And I'm going to show y'all the verse, and I'm going to bring out the verse just for y'all, and y'all can meditate on it. And this is at work. I'm at work working and listening to scripts, and then just something hit me like, you know what? Boom, boom, boom. And then I'm ding, and then I'm just reading it, and I'm like, dang, this is hitting. This right here is the motivation right now. And this is my motivation. I'm going to show y'all, man. You know, it's my motivation for right now. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 16. In the GNT. It says, there will be great political turmoil, with one group trying to overpower another and gain control while ignoring the legitimate government. There's going to be a great political turmoil. So you want to see that you want to be watching the government. You want to be watching politics to see them fall. And there's going to be one group trying to overpower, like Republicans or Democrats. But when you really look, when you say a political, look at BRIC in the United States. Look at currency, the dollar. We got to look at bigger pictures and look at smaller pictures. So one group is going to try to overpower another. And that other one that's going to try to overpower the one, guess what's going to happen? They're going to gain control. And that's going to usher in the charagma. And it says, while they do gain control, while ignoring the legitimate government. So they're going to be doing all of this, but the Lord behind the scenes is building his government, his legitimate government behind the scenes. And that's the elect. And the elect men is already showing their butts off that they're ready to work for the Lord in the spirit, right? When the Lord changed this reality and we change our bodies, we're just showing the Lord that we're ready to work on the other side. Everything we do here is showing the Lord we're willing to go the distance. On this side, we're showing our spiritual military mindset, right? Because Jeremiah 16:16, a lot of brothers never been to war. Niggas know how to use their hands, but niggas shooting at you, These niggas doing technical stuff. The Lord is gonna make you different when you hunting these people. So right now, the Lord is building you up in the spirit to be his weapon. But you have to have that certain type of discipline, right? Let's get this. Let me get this too. This is Wisdom of Solomon. And I'm gonna close with this. I'm gonna close with this, I promise. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6. Verse 17. It says, for the very true beginning of her is the desire of discipline. The care of discipline is love. Dropping down to 19, it says that incorruption maketh us near unto the Most High, right? That incorruption is getting that glorified body, right? Because the corrupted body is going to put on incorruption, where we won't be able to die at all, right? So when we have that incorruptible body, we'll be near unto the Most High. Therefore, the desire of wisdom bringeth to the kingdom, right? So that's why even more the men of the Lord are desiring wisdom, because they want the kingdom. They're going to be speaking of the good news, the kingdom. Yahushua is on his way. The Lord is showing signs. And that's why they're going to always try. And this is another motivation. I just told myself, I say, yo, I really want to go hard, because I'm telling myself, I know I can be way better than how I used to be, or way better than I am now. Because I used to tell myself this whole time in the truth, I'm afraid to be the real me, like to fully go hard. And I believe that I can do it. I'm afraid of doing it, let alone why you growing, you see what other people do, being proudful. But I already did other things that other brothers did, and the Lord allowed me to overcome the thought process of, oh, what if I do what they did? The Lord didn't allow me to do what some other brothers did when it came to marriage. And I'm doing what brothers was doing, but the Lord allowed me to make it go longevity for where the time it is right now. So anything that I possibly can do that's for this ministry, I have to keep it in my mind that I can do it, like the scriptures say. With man is impossible, with the Most High it is. So if I abide in the Most High, I can do anything. So just like what we were just reading about this is going into the coming disasters. So right now, the men of the Lord, what I'm telling you as, I love y'all, man. Keep doing what y'all doing, man. We need y'all. Keep your foot on the gas. Continue to pray to the Lord, because the Lord is going to give it to you, because we need you. The Lord wants you to continue to do his work so that the other elect can get in this thing, right? You guys are the oracles on this side because you're using his oracle, which is the word, right? You are the mouthpiece. You are the power that's on this side under the sun, right? The Lord, you are the Lord's army on this side, man. And I truly believe the hopeful elect is ushering in the coming of Hamashiach Yahushai and the downfall of daughter of Babylon, right? And the downfall of these nations and the son of perdition being revealed, right? So if you got your feet on the gas, make sure you're observing videos, right? Make sure if you close to a brother, right, or if you have a sister, that's in this thing, ask questions. Closed mouth don't get fed. Don't take too much time off from this work. Don't take too much time from growing, right? If you have a chance to grow, have a chance to change, don't never say it's too hard to do it because you've been doing it this long. No, it's because you don't want to, right? It's about saying, I want to do it, and make your first step. Your first step is literally asking a question. Hey, so does God love everybody? Ask a question. Get up out there, right? Everybody teaching, using the Bible, why nobody? You know what? Just shut up and ask somebody, hey, so who do you watch? And then let them send you a video, watch it, decipher it, get excited, right? Get in this thing to learn. Don't get in this thing for popularity game, right? Want to diss the old spirit of myself, right? Don't get in this thing only for the views. Don't just get in this thing because it look cool, right? This truth do look cool. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? We do look cool. But get in this thing because it's real. Get in this thing because Yahweh Shem Shai is real. Get in this thing because you know that you did terrible all your life, and it's time to do better, right? Choose life and not death, right? So Lord willing, this is edifying. Lord willing, this is straight to the point. And if it wasn't, it's okay, because we about to bring it out again. And with that, we're going to say, Kwame Yasharella, Yahweh Speed is your brother Dargabar. Call Allah Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Kakadash. Shalom.